Inspirational Creatives, episode 296. Welcome to Inspirational Creatives. I'm your host, Rob Lawrence. Join me every Friday as I chat with successful artists, producers, and creative entrepreneurs who share powerful stories and strategies. They can help you to create the life that you want. Listen each week as these inspirational creatives show you how to take your creativity to the next level. You'll learn how to create a sustainable business that inspires others and gives you the financial freedom and lifestyle that you want. Thanks for listening. Make sure you sign up at inspirationalcreatives.com to get free exclusive bonus material. And now, on with the show. Rob here and welcome to this short action episode. In episode 286, we talked about why you must get started sooner with your new ideas. And in this episode, we build on that wisdom as we explore in the next few minutes when is the best time to get started with your new creative enterprise, venture, business, or idea. In fact, the ideas I'm going to share with you today aren't just limited to those bigger ideas. This is also applicable to a smaller idea, maybe a service or a product. Now, for many creatives, myself included, I often find myself with my bigger ideas needing to plan or have all the right things in the right place before I start moving forward with an idea, product, or service. And that's perhaps understandable because for most of us, we need a high degree of certainty before we're happy to proceed. The trouble is, and I feel 2020 has definitely taught us this lesson, there's no such thing as certainty. And you may be thinking, well, yes, Rob, some of this stuff is to do with getting comfortable with being uncomfortable and uncertainty being the only certain thing. And I agree. But it's more than just that, as will be revealed before the end of this short episode. In episode 295, I interviewed tech entrepreneur and business owner Juliana Meyer, founder of SupaPass, and I asked how she got launched with her innovative tech platform, and it's her wisdom I'd like to share with you today. So in episode 295, I got very interested in Juliana's backstory as a musician, but also as a creative who loves solving problems. I was also interested in the story behind her tech platform, SupaPass, which you can learn more about at supapass.com, that's SupaPass.com, when I asked Juliana this question. Going back 9 years to when this all started and that journey began, did you know instantly, or was this something that kind of you were thinking about for some time before you jumped in with both feet? Can you remember the moment you decided you're going to go with this and absolutely 100% this is where you're going to go?
I love that question. So I was thinking about it for about 3 years before doing it. I had the idea about 3 years before and I thought, but this is really obvious somebody's going to do this. And I didn't really want to do it. I was quite happy, creating music and doing all the other stuff I was doing. I didn't really want to found a tech business. And I just got frustrated that it didn't exist. And I really, really wanted it to exist so I could use it. Ironically, I've never had the time to use it ever since I started the company. But I just really wanted it to exist. So it was really from a place of need. And I would have been quite happy for someone else to do it. And then after about 3 years of waiting, I thought, right, I'm just going to make it happen.
Juliana's idea came from a place of need and frustration, not just for her personally, but a need shared by her friends and fellow musicians in her community. Juliana had the original idea for what is now the SupaPass platform 3 years before she began progressing what is now the company that makes her idea a technical reality. As a musician, Juliana recognised that other musicians in her own community and across the globe shared a similar need and frustration, and what they wanted was a way to interact and connect directly with their fans. Whilst other social media platforms offered this type of service in some sort of way, there were still a number of obstacles and challenges that prevented these artists from being able to directly connect with their people. And Juliana goes into some detail about all of this in episode 295 if you're interested. But the point is this. Today, her app supports creatives of all kinds, including charities, podcasters, even fitness gurus and businesses and enterprises of all kinds. She wouldn't have known that if she hadn't got started and started getting feedback on the idea. But despite not knowing where to start, Juliana got started anyway.
I really started from a position of zero. I didn't really know anything about creating software. I didn't know anything about raising investment. I'd only recently moved to Norwich, where SupaPass is based. I'd only moved there about a year before. I didn't know anyone in the community to team up with. I literally started from a position of absolute zero and just kind of started. And I've given quite a few talk since then where when people say, you know, how do you go about doing something like that? And I always say, just start. You know, if you have a passion and you want to do it. We meet so many clients who have all these big plans, and then they say, oh, but, you know, I've got to prepare all these things. It's going to be 6 to 12 months until we're ready. And we always say to them, just start.
Even though Juliana didn't know anything about software or how to raise investment, that didn't stop her from getting started and exploring the idea. If you're passionate about a new idea, business or venture, why don't you just get started? Start small, start getting feedback, and start learning what it is that people like you might need.
There's so many things that you can get going with, and getting to a point where you're getting real customers giving you real feedback on an MVP, a minimum viable product, as early as possible is so important, because whatever you're planning, until you're getting that real user feedback, you don't know whether it's the right thing to be doing or where else you should be focusing or working on or improving.
Juliana suggests whatever idea you have or whatever product or service idea you're planning, there's no substitute for early customer feedback. There are so many things that you can get going with. Until you get that feedback, you don't know quite where to focus or what to be working on. Before we wrap up, I'd like to share with you this last clip, which is how Juliana got started. What I found inspiring about what Juliana had to say is that no matter what your circumstances are, you can probably find creative ways to get your needs met and get your idea moving forward. Don't take this last piece as guidance or advice, as revealed in episode 288 in my interview with business consultant and mentor Neil Foley from the Business Growth Club. Taking unnecessary risks to get your ideas moving forward may not always be a wise move. Either way, I hope Juliana's dedication to her business idea is an inspiration to you.
I actually funded it the first 3 years. I completely bootstrapped without any, literally didn't have any budget for it. And I basically taught cello in the evenings, private cello lessons in the evenings, to basically pay the bills, pay the server costs, put food on the table. And it was really, really hard work. I think I was doing about 16-hour days and kind of did for most of the last 10 years.
I found Juliana's story an inspiring one, and you can hear more of her story in episode 295 and experience her technology by downloading the Inspirational Creatives app built on her platform from your favourite app store. You can get that all by going to inspirationalcreatives.com/app. That's APP. There you can experience Juliana's technology and listen to every episode of the Inspirational Creatives podcast for free. And as a special bonus to you, to celebrate 6 years yesterday of this podcast series, if you download the app for free and use the code APPY6, you get it, APPY6, APPY numerical 6, I'll give you free lifetime access to this exclusive content. If you'd like to learn more about this particular idea, launching a product or service or new business or venture or enterprise, I highly recommend in the app looking for the interviews with Chris Brogan, Greg Hartle and Jeff Goldenberg. And in all of those interviews, or amongst those interviews, we talk about this business of having a minimum viable product and also how to iterate your idea and fine-tune and finesse the ideas that you may have. Stay tuned next week as I've got a special announcement for you as we close in on 300 episodes. I've got something a little bit new and a little bit exciting to share with you. I hope you found Juliana's ideas and wisdom in this short action episode useful today. Think about what it is that you and maybe people in your community have a need for, or what it is you might be frustrated with. What has somebody not created yet to solve a problem or a need that you have? I'd love to hear how you get on or what ideas you have. Drop me an email at rob@inspirationalcreatives.com. Thanks again for listening today, and I'll chat to you soon. Thanks for listening. Nothing beats the stories and advice of an expert to help you raise your creative game. I would love to know what you thought about today's episode, so don't forget to subscribe in iTunes where you can rate and review the show. If you like this episode, I invite you to share it on Facebook or Twitter with the one person you know who will benefit from the wisdom shared here today. You can find the show notes on inspirationalcreatives.com/podcast. If you have a burning question or a great idea for a guest, head on over to inspirationalcreatives.com/contact, where you can connect with me there.